So today I'm going to talk to you about the École des Beaux-Arts, which basically translates to School of Fine Arts in Paris. The goal of this talk is to simply give you a brief introduction to the school and to demystify how these artists develop such a high level of skill and mastery over their work. The origins of the school can date back to the 17th century, but I'm mainly just going to focus on the period between 1863 and the turn of the century. At the time, the École was a major centre for artistic education. Artists from all over the world would come here to study because France really for a long time was considered the art capital of the world. Not to mention the school was free. Notable artists such as Degas, David, Delacroix, Renoir, Sargent, Bouguereau are just some of the artists who passed through the École. The fact that it was free really shows the investment the French government put into training these artists and what people really valued at the time. So anyway, here's what the school looks like now. This space is mainly reserved for like exhibitions and stuff, and here's what it looked like back then. This was the Palace of Studies, as they called it. Students would pull up a chair and do drawings from these casts. And up here were the painting studios where more advanced work took place. So when you got there, you would start drawing from casts until you could draw reasonably well. Not perfect, just good enough. And then you were moved on to life drawing and then painting. Here's some of the examples of some of the casts done there. And throughout the week, the students were pretty much left to themselves, depending who your teacher was. Jerome, for example, who made this kind of work, he would come by around like twice a week to give you critiques. Here he is giving a critique to a student, and here he's giving a critique to another student, and other students listening in. So Kenyon Cox, who was an American painter, is actually a really cool example of what a typical progress might look like for a student there. And Kenyon actually documented many of his struggles and daily life at the École in letters to his family back in America, which is a really cool read if you want to check it out. So this is how he started. You can see he's a little shaky here in the lines. He's just getting used to the materials. So maybe he didn't like this one, so he did it again. You can see he got a little bit better, and you can see him getting a little bit better. And this cast drawing here actually got him to graduate to life drawing, and you can see some of the examples of that here. Here is another life drawing by Kenyon Cox. So the teaching philosophy there was they weren't trying to turn you into copycats, nor were they teaching a fixed set of formulas or stylistic tricks. The goal wasn't to imitate other painters, but simply to develop the ability to observe and represent life as it was in front of you. So there were no recipes for mixing a perfect flesh tone, for example, or tricks of the trade, as Leyendecker calls it. Because everyone's skin is different and the light is always changing wherever you go. So you had to be prepared for that kind of thing. Finally, we have the Prix de Rome. The Prix de Rome was basically like a scholarship program whereupon people would compete to go study in Rome for 5 years, all expenses paid by the French government. So what would happen was they'd basically lock you up in a little room called a loge for 12 hours, and you had to come up with a narrative sketch based on a brief. This was usually based on Greek mythology, Roman history, or religious narratives. Here's some of the examples of what students came up with. So you won't judge too harshly on your drawing or painting. This is more like how well you could tell the story. From there, 10 people were chosen, and from there you had full reign to use as many references as you wanted, basically like a chef given a whole pantry of ingredients. You could come and go as you please from the school, but you had 72 days to complete it. Here's an artist working with a mannequin and a model. I guess the brief for this one was King Priam begging Achilles for the body of his son Hector. And you can see other students having a go at that. It's a colour study that would have been done, drawing, another one. And this was actually the first prize winner for that year. In the end, the scholarship ran until 1968, until it was closed down and all funding was cut. So my questions for the class is, do you think drawing is a natural talent or something that can be learned like reading and writing, provided there's enough time, money and resources put into it by the state? And second, does the ecole training sound like something you would be interested in? If so, my friend Nathan runs a private drawing and painting studio in Melbourne, inspired and built upon many of the ideas taught at the ecole. So reach out to him or me if you're interested. And there's me at his studio doing a cast drawing, just like the students at the ecole.